This is Gabriela on the scene today with Talk Network Radio. We have a real treat for you just around the corner, and that is Empowered Living with Jeff Byrd. Jeff is the owner of Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and he will be coming to you weekly to teach you more about empowered living. Now, let's join Jeff already in the studio.
Hello and welcome. I'm Jeff Byrd with Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, and this is Empowered Living. Now, I hope that we just started a new year last week, and I hope that your new year is off to a great start so far. And I want to start this year off with a topic that I hope is a theme in all of our lives throughout this coming year. And that when we get to this time next year, that we can look back and the others around us will say, yes, that was a theme in their life. And that theme is pushing others up. Pushing them up. Now, unfortunately, we don't hear nearly as much about pushing people up as we do that somebody put somebody down, right? That's much more common, but I want to start a movement that reverses that, start a movement of pushing other people up. Now, the reason that this is on my mind today is because I received one of the biggest compliments that I've ever had just yesterday. 2 days ago, I posted a question on Facebook just asking people what was their greatest strength that benefits other people. And there were beautiful answers that came back, listening and encouragement and helping them find their inner strengths and bringing those to the outside to manifest in the world around them. But after many, many responses, a friend of mine that I just met a couple of months ago, she made the comment and she said, Jeff, it's a great gift that you have, a great quality that you let others shine their light without feeling threatened. Well, now let me tell you, that doesn't come overnight. But what I have figured out is that there's times, any of us solopreneurs, we wonder, about things, how it's going to work out, if we're going to make it. And things can feel threatening, if there's other people, doing the same thing we are, or, in anything we do in life, we can feel threatened by other people who might be better, quicker, faster, smarter, whatever. It's easy to feel threatened. But what I've learned is that one of the best things we can do in any situation is to help others shine their light. And when we're somebody who helps make that happen, what happens is appreciation comes back. It's like we help them turn up their light and we get the warmth from it and sometimes illumination from it. And I've learned that one of the best and quickest ways to be appreciated, so many people feel underappreciated. They're always looking for appreciation, looking for respect, like Rodney Dangerfield, just can't get no respect. If you remember him, I'm dating myself there, I know, but one of the quickest ways to be respected and to be appreciated and to develop leadership, which is really influence of other people. And it doesn't matter if you're on the job, if you're in a large business organization, or in your home and in your family, if you're at school, anywhere you are, one of the quickest ways to establish leadership and to become appreciated is to be the one who's always pushing others up. Even if things are going wrong, we can look at other people and see what was their intention. What were the gifts they were using? What's the potential there? And always be calling those things to light, building them, creating opportunities, providing resources. But I want to talk for a minute about why that doesn't always happen. Why is that less common than putting people down? And sometimes when I'm teaching and doing leadership training with businesses, I talk about dealing with bad apples. Now, all of us have probably been on a team at some point or another with a bad apple, right? And so usually I'll ask the group that I'm with, I say, what are the qualities that make a bad apple a bad apple? And often the first thing that comes to us is attitude. They have bad attitude. They just don't get along with people. They just put them down. And I used to think that it was attitude also. But this was back a year or so ago, and I started thinking, I said, I think that there's more to it than attitude. I think that there's an underlying cause that creates the bad attitude. And this was just a sense I had, and I thought about it. And one night I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up. I got up out of bed, I went to write it down, and I woke my wife up while I was down. I said, I've got it. I think I've got what the essential quality of the bad apple is. It's not just attitude. It's that they devalue others. And they're pushing others down. And it's as though they're pushing others down to try to make themselves appear higher. And I thought, well, why would people do that? Why would people want to push somebody else down to try to make themselves look good? And it's because I think that a lot of people don't believe there's anything good in them to do to get positive recognition. And so negative recognition is better than no recognition in a lot of people's minds, or even if it never makes it to their conscious mind, that's what's in the background. Hey, I want to be noticed. I want to be noticed. And if we don't believe that there's anything good that we have to offer, anything good in us that we can contribute to others around us, then we just go on the negative side off of it, start putting people down. And I've watched this leave tremendous trails of destruction in companies, in families, just in lives. So it comes down to this belief. But people do that again, calling out everybody else's faults and failures. And nobody wants to be around somebody like that. And if you are in a leadership position and you're leading some bad apples, I'll tell you, please address it sooner than later. Call them on it, even if they're a talented person. A lot of times people don't want to address a talented, gifted person who's a bad apple because they're afraid, hey, we can't replace them. Yeah, you can. And even if you don't replace them exactly at their level, taking a little lesser level of competence, but with somebody who contributes to a healthy culture and gets along with each other, and gets along with other people and helps build others, you're going to be better off than you were with that other person. Really, this is bullying. When we talk about this bad apple pushing others down, that's what bullying is. Now, you may think of the big kid on the playground that knocked somebody else down and lords it over them. But anytime we're putting others down, whether it's intellectually or emotionally or for a certain skill or lack thereof, that's bullying. Any attempt to gain control by making someone else feel less, that's bullying. Now, the opposite is healing, and that makes others feel like more. Recently, I heard somebody say we were doing a little assessment in a group, and they said that somebody made them feel like that big. Now, that's not good. How about we make people feel like that big, so much more than they actually feel like they are? That's going to develop some influence, and that's going to establish you very quickly as a leader, because the answer to so many problems lies in how people feel about themselves and what they believe. And when you help them believe more, believe bigger, see more in themselves, and develop and do more and add more value, wow, you're leading now. You're in a really good position of influence, helping other people become more. I have a story I'd like to tell you. I was introduced to a young lady by the name of Emily Pinkham. I guess it was last year a friend introduced me to her. And this is a young lady. She's still in high school. And but when she was, I guess maybe 11, 12, something like that, she was being bullied by some kids in her school, and she even received a death threat that was written to her. And, I'm so impressed by her, because what she did was, instead of responding to that, acting in fear, lashing back out, what she decided to do was to take the opposite of that message. Because she received a devaluing message. She decided to take the opposite message, a valuing message, and send it out to everybody around her. She started what she calls the positive patrol. And that's actually a page on Facebook. You can see what she's doing. If you just look at positive patrol, the words are together, positive patrol. There's no space between positive and patrol. Just go to Facebook and look up positive patrol, and you can see some of what she's doing. She started in her school writing cards that appreciated and affirmed other people and were value-adding statements, and started giving them out to her classmates. Then she went beyond that, and she started reaching out to first responders. And she goes all over the state of Virginia. Her goal by the end of 2019 is to have blanketed all of the first responders in Virginia just with messages of appreciation and how much their service is appreciated and how valuable it is and what a difference they're making in the community. Now, wow, that's huge. She took this devaluing, belittling message and flipped that thing on its head and turned around and started putting out the exact opposite message to many, many, many people. Now, would that we all would follow her example. She's definitely a leader in showing us and modeling this positive example and adding value to the lives of others. So, what other ways can we push each other up? Pushing other people up places the focus on the good things in them, on good behaviors, good attitudes, even good motives. Sometimes a person will have the best intentions in the world, but not get the best results. Don't put them down for that. Hey, they were trying. Honor that. Value that. Now, you can review things and see if you can figure out a way to get better results, but honor their motives and their intentions. Allow others to shine. And again, when we let other people shine, we're going to be warmed by their appreciation for noticing. And then they're going to buy, if we do have good ideas, they're going to buy into them so much better when they know that we appreciate them and that we value them and that we're trying to push them up and to make them better. Another thing with pushing other people up is that we show everyone that exemplary behavior, motives, attitudes, those things are rewarded. That helps establish a very strong, positive culture. There's something that a writer and a speaker of mine, a leadership trainer named Patrick Lencioni, calls the rule of thirds. And if you picture in front of me 3 rectangles, and the one rectangle, those are the great people. They're at the top of they're the cream of the crop. They're at the top of the pile. They're very positive. They get things done. They're a good part of your culture. The middle ones, they're the average people. And then the other rectangle, those are the people who pull everybody down. They're the bad apples. They're the ones that are negative. They're critical. They never want to go along with anything. They never believe the best in anything. A lot of times, those are the ones that I've found in working with teams that get most of the attention. It's those people at the bottom. So when they get most of the attention, then the people in the middle go, oh, wow, they get more attention than the ones doing all the right stuff. Why bother trying? Let me just go and be part of the problem, get all the attention. And then the ones at the top, they go, why are we doing all this work when we don't get the recognition? And all these problem people are always getting all the attention, and there's nothing left for us, and we're not being built up and developed. And so some of them are going to leave, and others are just going to become indifferent. But if you do it the other way around, if we put all the attention, the praise, the recognition, and the resources and to help provide and create opportunities for those up at the top and push them up, then what happens is the ones in the middle go, oh, wow, it really does pay to put your best effort in there and develop yourself and do things well. And then the people at the bottom, some of them are going to go, oh, my goodness, we've been doing this all wrong. Some of them are going to get it. Other ones are just going to leave on their own because they don't want to be part of such a positive culture. They just don't see themselves fitting in. So that's the way to do it. Building people up, pushing others up, and honoring them and valuing them, that helps create a very positive culture in an organizational environment. But it also works in any environment, not just a business. That works in a family life. It works in nonprofits. It works in other community organizations. It works everywhere. And the other thing with pushing others up is it encourages them by revealing strengths that they may not have recognized in themselves. Now, many of you have heard me tell parts of my story. Part of the reason that I'm doing what I do today and love what I do is that other people saw strengths in me that I didn't know I had and made suggestions, created opportunities, opened doors for me. And one of them I wrote to Think a couple of years ago, and she wrote back and she said, I only saw what was obvious. And my response to her was, well, it wasn't obvious to me. I didn't see it, and it took somebody else seeing it and creating that. And so what that did is it opened doors of realization for me. And when we do that with other people, when we see their good qualities and call them out, oftentimes they don't know, but that might open the door of opportunity through which they walk into their destiny and their greatest purpose and their greatest effectiveness and their greatest personal fulfillment. The other thing it does is it just builds strong teams, strong families, strong communities, strong organizations. When everybody, this occurred to me years ago, if everybody on earth was appreciating all the people around them, nobody would feel unappreciated, right? So each one of us, we don't have to wait for somebody else to start. Each one of us, we can start ourselves and do something for somebody else, appreciate something for somebody else. Just let them know. If somebody pops into your mind, even as you're hearing this, just reach out and shoot them a note. Just let them know. It doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be sappy. Just say, hey, you did such and such, or you mean such and such to me. I just really appreciate that. Thank you so much for being you. And if everybody's appreciating everybody else around them, then nobody feels unappreciated.